I think Baker Mayfield had injuries that we knew about and injuries we didn't know about, and he insists on playing through them, and I admire him for doing that, especially because when your play is affected by the injuries, people will think it's because you've lost it. No, he's injured, and he's never going to make that excuse. He's not going to show up and say, hey, I tore my hamstring back before a week 2 game like another former starting quarterback did this week, even though I think that may be a little bit of puffery. It creates an unwanted complication for the New York Giants that Russell Wilson did that because it was never disclosed on any injury report. And the way he told the story, he went and got secret treatment at the Dallas Mavericks training facility.
Right? Right.
Yeah, which, Chris, anybody that's ever pulled a hamstring or been around someone who pulls a hamstring, you can't hide that. You start limping. Your hand instinctively goes to the back of your leg. You don't just pull a hamstring and grin and bear it. Everybody knows you've pulled a hamstring. So I think it's all baloney. And if it's true, it just shows you how scared he was that he was going to be benched. And if he had merely said to the training staff or to the coaching staff, I have a hamstring injury, they were going to put him down. They were looking for any excuse they could find to put him down on the bench and go with Jackson Dart.
Right. Well, remember back then, week 1 was a disaster, and everybody was like, wait, Dallas stinks on defense. Should they put in Jackson Dart that week? That was the combo. Right? Yeah, it's a little earlier than they wanted to put him out there, but is this maybe the time to do it? Maybe we go with it. So I'm sure, he's Russell's not stupid. He's hearing that chatter. He understands the writing on the wall as far as Jackson Dart there being a first rounder, and yeah, he tried to suck it up, and I don't know if I buy the whole the team didn't know thing either, but regardless, that's where we are.
I think he found out that he said too much because what you do is you create a delayed investigation, just like Brett Favre did when he got to Minnesota in 2009, and they were asking him about his performance down the stretch with the Jets in 2008, and he started saying, hey, I had a partially torn biceps tendon, and he said it enough that the NFL had to go back, investigate, and fine the Jets, Eric Mangini, and Mike Tannenbaum for not disclosing the final weeks of the season, that injury. And I think that's what the Giants are going to land in. And the other issue is, if you get a reputation for not knowing when to zip it, that's when you don't find a job on the open market.
That's
and Russell Wilson's going to have a hell of a time finding a roster spot. Who's going to give Russell Wilson a job? And he knows it because he fired his agent, Mark Rogers, the baseball agent who had one client. It's good to have only one client when you're driving the hardest possible bargain for your client because it doesn't affect your relationship as it relates to your other clients. We've talked about in the past. It's a very delicate balance. Now he's with David Mulugheta. He's going to tap in to the Mulugheta magic, and I'm telling you, even David Mulugheta, he's going to have to call in a pretty big favor to get a roster spot for Russell Wilson because I just think it's done. And I'm sorry. I'm trying to assess the situation as I see it. At best, it's QB2, QB3. At best, it's not going to be starter. It's not going to be placeholder like it was last year. You're going to be the backup or you're going to be the backup to the backup. And if you have the attitude that you're good enough to play, that's not going to make you attractive to be a backup or the backup to the backup.
Yeah, no, it's over. There's no way he'll be a starter. There's no way anybody will pay him to bring him in to be the starter. You're saying it right. You don't need to apologize. He's a backup quarterback. That's all it is at this point. I know he said he's going to continue to go forward and fight forward, and here we go, and blah, blah, blah. I'll be interested, too, to see who wants to bring him in. Right. I also there's a part of me that I sit here and go, yeah, he got a new agent and all that. Is he going to really leave New York? Right. I feel like, they like New York for all the other reasons, too, and just everything that goes along with it. But we'll see. He says he's going to play. He's going to go through with it. But I don't. Yeah. Starting quarterback. No way. Backup quarterback all the way.
Pro tip. If you want to stay with the Giants, don't suggest that the Giants may have concealed an injury. Don't do it.
Well, he knows that's over.
Not a good idea.
He knows that's over, so he knows he's not staying there with the Giants.
Then the Jets.
Right.
Then the Jets.
Right.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.